Color guard, attention. Advance colors. Honor guard, halt.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare of bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, be with us as we come together this day to pay tribute to those who have served and those who are serving in our armed forces. We are grateful for their dedication and commitment and to the countless selfless acts they have performed and the sacrifices of their families so that we might continue to enjoy freedom. We thank you for their service to their nation, and we thank you for their commitment and service to their families, to their communities, and to society in the years since they served. We are mindful of the fact that many of their comrades sacrificed their very lives on the fields, on the seas, and in the air, where the battles of war were fought. We remember those today with great reverence and thanksgiving. Because without you, O Lord, we realize there is no United States. There is no democracy. There is no freedom. There is no republic. We thank you for our great land, for life, for liberty, for freedom in the pursuit of happiness that constitute the legacy of our forebears, and for our ongoing ideals of our republic. Continue your blessings upon us as we conduct this ceremony, and may each of us as individuals and as a nation continue to acknowledge you. Amen.
Again, welcome everyone for today's Veterans Day program. And I mentioned earlier, today's message is the passing of the torch. But before I get started, I'd like to thank our City Council, Board of Supervisors, but especially you, our public, just had our Vietnam Wall of 58,316 names on the wall. And that was the beginning of the end, beginning of this new generation, from the Desert Storm veterans to now, that we need to continue honoring and even more, because it's not over yet. My job, my volunteer job with the Legion, Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation, and as I travel to the VA hospital, there are more women that are coming back, that are there as patients from Desert Storm, Afghanistan, Iraq, more homeless. And if you see the program, this is why we have it as 2 speakers. And if we, us here, we need to continue advocating for our younger generation. There are 21 million veterans, 2 million women vets. 1917, Loretta Walsh, the first combat veteran who dressed as a male enlistee. And then finally in 1948, the law finally passed that women can get into the military. It's great that we have here in the Bobo Theater an entertainer that in 1941, nearly 50 years, traveled to the troops to entertain. And here today, we are going to pass the torch to our younger generation of veterans to warriors. So I'd like to invite Shad Reed, John Henry from Delta College and UOP, Joe Mays for the blessing. We had the Native Americans bless the names on the wall.
Native American vet, also a gourd dancer. Joe blesses the ceremonies before. Right now, he is blessing the 4 directions which we travel in our walk. And then he will bless each person here, those past and those present, receiving the torch.
welcome everyone today. Thank you for taking the time joining us here. This first kind ceremony that I think really encapsulates the overall community, the massive amount of community outreach and outpouring that San Joaquin County has for military and veteran families. With that, I just want to acknowledge a couple folks here in the audience who are helping that helping that happen, helping make a difference with military and veteran issues in the community. So first, I'd like to welcome Congressman Jerry McNerney for California's 9th District. I'd like to welcome Christina Carrillo, who is a representative for California's 5th State District. And she is here on behalf of Assemblywoman Galgiani. Now I'd like to move to our city representatives. City Council Member Christina Fugazi. City Council Member Dan Wright. City Council Member Albert Holman. And actually, I would like to backtrack to our county representative, County Board of Supervisors, Via Padua. Thank you. Is there any other city, county superintendent? That's right. Superintendent James Musolinos, County Superintendent of Schools. Now I'd like to... That's right, Ann Baer from Assemblymember Egney's office. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Anyone else? No, I'm missing someone. All right. Now I'd like to actually honor a couple veterans in this room who need no introduction themselves and who this day is about. Can I first obviously I'd like to welcome Major White here. Thank you for joining us. He brought in the close to the colors, as you can see, a World War II survivor himself. We've got a lot of World War II survivors here today, so I feel pretty blessed and privileged to be in this company. Gunnery Sergeant Ted Salisbury, thank you for joining us. Joseph Perez, Pearl Harbor survivor. Joseph Bermudo, also World War II veteran survivor. And one other veteran here who's done amazing for the local community of veterans and their families, Andy Prokop, is in the building. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Xochitl Pérez, and she will take us to our next segment of the program.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank you for your time and your support for this event. Although today is something that we're recognizing annually, it's important for us to recognize that the intent of Veterans Day was to acknowledge that we had the strongest degree of fortitude to address those conflicts, and we came out as the leaders. We've overcome a lot as a nation, but we've overcome a lot through our wars. We've learned much, and we are still learning. But it's because of the servicemen and women that have chosen to sign that we have continued to take on those conflicts with strength. I'd also like to take a minute to recognize our Vietnam veterans, because although many of them have served, not many of them had an option. But yet, for those that did serve during Vietnam, during the draft, many of them fought effortlessly. And I'd like to give them a round of applause. the honor of introducing you to Janet. I met her recently and was very thankful to know that a woman like her exists, because although she was told no a handful of times, she didn't succumb to the no. She overcame it with not only motivation, but dedication and believing in herself.
So good morning, everyone, and happy Veterans Day to all my brothers and sisters who are serving and have served in the armed forces. I want to thank you all for inviting me to share this Veterans Day with all of you. When I was asked to come here to talk today, I first thanked Tino, and then I asked him, what is the main topic for today? And Tino, being Tino, tells me, it's about you, Doc. It's about the women who served. Little did he know, or does know, that that little phrase about our women who served touched my heart and my soul deeply. So thank you for the opportunity. It is a privilege and truly an honor. So this Veterans Day, the topic is around women who have served and are serving. First, I'd like to say, to those who came before me, there's no way to repay them, other than to tell them thank you for having paved the way for me to get to where I am here today. And I am proud to be among the women now to pave that way for the future. So I'd like to ask every female veteran to stand. Let's give them a round of applause and give them thanks this Veterans Day. So let me ask you a question. Did you know there are 3 women that have a 4-star position today? I did. I knew of one because I knew her personally. I know of her personally. General Ann Dunwoody of the Army, General Janet Wolfenberger, Air Force, I believe she's retired now, and Admiral Michelle Howard, whom I've actually personally got to meet. I know her more because, let's face it, she's in the Navy. With her promotion to 4 stars in June of 2016, she told Stars and Stripes that when she went to the exchange to buy her shoulder boards, they all looked at her and said, "We don't have that." She had to special order her shoulder boards because it did not exist in the Navy to order shoulder boards or make shoulder boards for females. Because as we know, our decorations are a little bit smaller than the men because we don't have big shoulders, right? She has taken on the role as the commander of U.S. Naval Forces Europe, while also concurrently acting as the commander of U.S. Naval Forces Africa and commander of Allied Joint Forces Command Naples. She previously served as the 38th Vice Chief of Naval Operations. She graduated from the Naval Academy in 1982 and from the U.S. Army Command and General Staff College in 1998 with a Master's in Military Arts and Science. During her naval career, she achieved numerous historic firsts, including first African-American woman to command a U.S. Navy ship and achieve 3-star rank. First Admiral selection to the U.S. Naval Academy class of 1982. First female graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy selected for flag rank. First woman to become a 4-star admiral, as we previously stated. First African American and first woman to be named Vice Chief Naval of Operations. First female 4-star admiral to command the Operation Forces when she assumed command of the U.S. Naval Forces Europe and U.S. Naval Forces Africa. Admiral Howard has been awarded numerous medals and awards, including the Naval Distinguished Service Medal and the Meritorious Service Medal. If you don't know who Admiral Howard is, you may recognize her, for she was infamously known for Admiral Howard, command of the Navy task force involved in the Maersk, Alabama rescue, which became the pilot for the film Captain Phillips. She was that little admiral in the movie that they showed like for 5 minutes. That was her. She's about my height, so that makes me look good. I don't have a resume like Admiral Howard, but it is nice to know that we have gone through some of the same trials and tribulations as other women in the military. Tina wanted me to just tell my story. How was it for me? And as I thought over and over again how to write the speech, one thing that kept coming back to me was to talk to my fellow veterans, sitting down, chatting like with a cup of coffee, or Pepsi. For those of you who know me, this sailor's addicted to Pepsi, not coffee. So here we go. Hope you're on board. I was born in Bronx, New York, descendants of Puerto Ricans. My parents came from Puerto Rico to New York for better opportunities for them and for our future children. I had a pretty good childhood. I'm the second oldest of 5. I went to Catholic school from kindergarten to high school, almost college. I went to college briefly in New York and then migrated back to Puerto Rico, just like most Puerto Ricans do. I went to the recruiter's office with my younger sister because she was going to go and join. And I told myself, this I gotta say. You don't know my sister has hair up to here, very down past her butt, right? Skinny, not one athletic bone in her body. So, like I said, this I had to see. Everything was going smooth. He was telling her everything. I was behind him. I was like, okay. She looks like she's gonna do it. She's about to sign the contract. The recruiter goes, oh, I forgot to tell you. You might have to cut your hair a little bit. She literally had her pen in her hand, about to sign her name. And I was standing behind her looking at him, and I was like, you good. She said, what? I have to cut my hair? He was like, yeah, just for boot camp, then you can grow it out again. I was like, she didn't join. I was listening to the entire conversation the entire time. So I was like, this actually sounds pretty good. It's something I've always wanted to do, but never really had the guts to go to the recruiter. So I gave my props to my sister and praised her because although I didn't think she was gonna make it, she had the guts to make it happen. You know, really go to the recruiter's office, listen to him, take the test and all that. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go to the Marine Corps office. I guess so. Because if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go to the Marines. So I went to the Marines, and he's talking, and I take the test, and I did very well. And he goes, so what do you want to do? I said, I want to be in the medical field. Then I got that look. He turned white, then red, and I thought he was going to pass out. And I looked at him and I said, what's wrong? He goes, are you sure you want to be in the medical field? That's really what you want to do? Yes, my dad is in the medical field, and I really enjoy it. I work with him. I want to be in the medical field. He goes, fine. I said, okay, where do I sign? He goes, you can't. You have to stop. You got to go next door. I said, no. I don't want to be a squid. I do not want to be a squid. I want to be with the Marines. We don't have medical. We get our medical from the Navy. I'm like, what? He said, yeah, you have to, but you can be a corpsman for the Marines once you become a corpsman in the Navy. All right, let's go. Let's do this. I did. I signed in. At the time I lived in Puerto Rico. My parents lived 3 hours away. Then I had to tell my dad. I was like, oh. So I told my dad, I said, I joined the Navy, I'm going to boot camp. I said, why? I don't want you to do that. You're going to get hurt. Only men join the military. I don't want you to get hurt. I'm like, okay. but I still needed to do this. I needed to do this for me. So I left. But I joined the reserves. I wasn't that crazy. I heard a lot of horror stories. Oh, it's horrible and this, and I was like, well, I'll join the reserves. I'll make it through boot camp. I'll make it through medical school. If I don't like it, I just smile. 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year, done with my contract, go home, go to college, done, right? Wrong. So here I am. So I go to course school. I go to boot camp, I go to course school, do very well, was a class officer, all that nice stuff. Only thing that wasn't too great was I came from Puerto Rico, went to Orlando, not bad, same type of weather. Went to Chicago. Yeah. So you know all the uniforms they give you, for those of you that are in, they give you the winter and they give you the summer. I had all of it on because I was freezing. Got to course school, did my oath, graduated. Then I said, hey, I want to go, I heard I could be with Marines. I got laughed at. I was like, that's not funny. I want to go with Marines. I was told I could sign up and go with the Marines. Well, first, you're a reservist. You can't go. Well, I can go active duty. Second, you're a female. We're not taking women. This is right before Desert Storm, Desert Shield. Literally, like 2 weeks before. Okay. I did my 4.5 years, went back to Puerto Rico, did a couple of college. I was attached to the Fleet Hospital 500 Detachment Lima. And in that hospital unit, they had a Marine unit, a Marine corpsman unit. Not one female. So, for the 4 years I was there, every year, my CO was like, here she comes again with her request sheet to go to FMSS school. That's Fleet Marine Service School, for those of you who don't know. And for 4 years straight in the reserves, denied. Opportunity arose for me to go to active duty in 1991. I was like, okay, cool, maybe I can get my FMSS to do that. So I put in a request, went active duty, got accepted, all that. Where do you want to go? I want to stay on the East Coast. My whole family's on the East Coast. You know, West Coast it is. I was like, okay. I thought my CO was going to pass out when I called the detailer. I was a little E3, mind you. And I told the detailer, you must be either stupid or dyslexic. I refuse to think you're stupid, Chief. So you must be dyslexic. Because this is nowhere near Puerto Rico. This is literally on the other side of the U.S., someplace called NASNY. What the heck is NASNY? Navy Air Station North Island, Coronado, San Diego. Oh, now I'm going to an island. Okay. No choice, right? Pack your bag, get on thing, land in San Diego. I get to San Diego, and back then women had to wear skirts, dress blues, heels. It's a Sunday, I'll never forget. September 15th, 5:30 on a Sunday. I land in San Diego with no suitcases. My suitcases are 3 hours behind me. My sponsor arrived with his whole family. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Maybe we're going somewhere. I don't have any clothes, but okay, we'll wing it, right? Hey, welcome aboard, Peninsula Sound. I had made 3rd class by the time I left. We don't work Monday or Tuesday because we work this weekend, so I'll see you Wednesday. You're staying in the barracks on base. See ya. And left. Like, nice. Welcome to California. Got on a taxi, get to the barracks, get to the other side of the base, wherever that was at the time, get my key, get to the building. My room is on the 6th floor. The elevators don't work. I'm in heels, remember? Not one person helped me get to the 6th floor with my suitcase and my handbag and everything else I had that I could carry. I make it to the 6th floor, room 603, room D. I'll never forget. Put the key in, doesn't work. I look at my shoes, I look at the door, I look over the balcony, back down 6 flights, cross the base, get another key. This happened 3 times. The 3rd time I took off my shoes, I didn't care. Made it into my room, I get inside my room, oh, by the way, your room hasn't been used in 6 months. My bed was even put together. I looked at the time, it was about 7. I said, where's the nearest exchange? Oh, just across the way. My feet hurt. Get to the exchange, buy a pair of sweats, change, get back to my room, start putting my clothes together, bed together, dresser together, because it was in half. The drawers were on the floor. I was like, okay, screw this, I'm going home. I called my dad, I was like, I'm going AWOL, I don't care. They can arrest me, but they'll have to arrest me in Puerto Rico. He's like, you're gonna be fine. It's okay. Just go to bed. Roger that. Went to bed. 2 years later, here comes Fidel Salazar again. Commander Cruz. Denied. Okay. I went to a picnic. I said, I gotta get my mind off of this. Go to a picnic. I'm at a picnic. I meet this girl. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Everybody's cool. We're having hot dogs and hamburgers and whatnot. We got to talking about billets, which is vacancies for schools. She happened to be the controller for all Navy Sea schools, which is the school, one of the C school is a specialty school, which FMSS was. I said, you know, I've been putting in for the past 6 years to go to FMSS, and I keep getting denied. She's like, why? We're looking for women desperately. Nobody wants to go to the Marines. Really? I want to go. She's like, are you serious? I said, I'm totally serious. I've been trying to do this for 6 years. This is the only reason I'm here. When do you want to go? Yesterday. She goes, okay, I'm going to call you tomorrow. It was Sunday. She did call me Monday. She said, you're leaving September 28th, 2 days before my birthday. Cool. So now, I still had to put a chit on, right? Because the CO doesn't know, the LPO doesn't know, the Master Chief doesn't know, nobody knows, right? Just check it. Did it backwards, right? Who hasn't done that? So I grab my chit, I go to my LPO, and LPO loves me, says, denied. I said, why? They're not taking women. Really? I want to see the CO. You can't see the CO. I have a right to see the CO. Who do you think you are? I want to see the CO. I'm not talking to you anymore. All right, so go see the Master Chief. Master Chief said, hey, so I heard you want to see the CO. What's going on? I'm denied going to FMSS school. I said, why? Apparently they're not taking women. He knew that I knew that I was a lie. Master Chief said, okay, you can go see the CO. Next, go see my commander. Hey, he was from Spain. At the episode said, you want to go to FMSS? Why? I said, because I want to be with Marines. He knew well, because he served with Marines. Chit approved. I still went to see the old man, the captain. He said, have good luck. I'll see you in our future. Off to FMSS I went. FMSS was about 3 months. So they sent me to Camp Del Mar, Camp Pendleton, California. I get there, and you know, you have to change, right? It's Navy. I got to change into being a Marine, right? So, go to get my camis. I didn't tell you, I was the last day of that. I weighed 100 pounds. I'm a 5 foot, push 3 inches, with these I'm probably 3, tall. I was the smallest and lightest in my entire platoon and company. So we get in line to get our uniforms. I remember my Gunnery Sergeant Coon, 6'4", from Alabama. And he said, "Here, try these on." I come back. A heck of long, heck of big. You still gotta put it on, right? Because the gunny said so. I walk up, he goes, "New Rican, you need to grow." "What's the next size?" He says, "I don't know. Let's go find out." These are the first one. We went from small to extra small to extra small, extra short. So that's what my size was. Then we came to the boots, and I was like, I already knew this was going to be a problem because I have trouble getting regular shoes. Small feet. I get there, they give me a 6. I laughed. I could put my foot with my shoe inside the 6. I was like, it don't work. He goes, "Okay, we have 5s. Try on the 5. Nope, don't work. My foot size ended up being a 4. They don't carry 4s. They had to special order it. So for a week, I was walking in sneakers. And, you're the one that the whole platoon's walking, you're the only one in sneakers. And they're like, "Oh, what's wrong with her feet?" Nothing, just don't have shoes. I made it. I graduated, took my oath. And for 3 months straight, anytime there was a challenge, anytime there was an obstacle course, anytime there was something to do, New York, get up here. Because if Janet could do it, nobody had an excuse. Because again, I was the smallest and the lightest to do it. I fell in the water twice in the obstacle course. I graduated second in my class, first female to graduate. To graduate, you have to carry a 120-pound rucksack, flak jacket, helmet, and M16. I was the only female that made it with all my gear, all 16 miles. That's no longer a requirement, by the way. By female or male, it's 8 miles. I wonder why. So let's see, I got lost in my notes here. So from there, I went to my 1st Marine Unit, Med Battalion, I&I South, which means Inspector Instructor. On my first day there, my chief greets me and he goes, "Hey, I heard you're from Puerto Rico." I said, "Yeah, I am." He goes, "Oh, they still live in huts there?" I just looked at him, thought he was kidding, thought he was really serious. And I said, "No. Where am I supposed to be working?" He's like, "Oh, you'll be the medical battalion's medical officer." Like, okay, the medical department rep. By the way, you might have to clean that office because, there was a guy in there before you, and you're a woman. Roger that, chief. Outside. Inside, I was like, this guy is still living in I don't know what century. But do as you're told, right? At the end of my tour, I received my first Navy Commendation Medal before an Achievement Medal as a junior 2nd class, passing IG inspection with 0 hits. They had previously failed the last 2 IG inspections. I had to carry a copy of my commendation paperwork in my pocket because as a junior 2nd class, you rarely get a commendation medals, you get achievement medals. Commendation medals are usually for first and chiefs. People wouldn't believe me. They thought I was, wearing unauthorized medals, or I was the CO's pet. Believe me, it was very hard work, long nights, and a lot of sweat. Another time, when I was attached to an artillery unit, upon arrival to my new duty station, the colonel asked me, this was my welcome aboard speech, what was I doing there? And asked me to request a transfer. I was the only female in his unit. I didn't, because he pissed me off. We were out in the field in Oklahoma, Fort Sill, in the middle of a beautiful rainstorm, and I was the only female there among 1,000 men, all Marines, except for my corner. We didn't have a medical tent, since I was attached to a military unit. So if you know about military units, they shoot, move, shoot, move, shoot, move. So you don't have time to put up a tent. You just live out of your Hummer. I used my medical Hummer for all my bathroom necessities. At night, I got my most trusted Marine and corpsman to stay with me because twice before, my tent was ripped in the middle of the night, and I caught hypothermia. My two senior officers, who should have been protecting me, made me a target and tried to have me discharged since I wouldn't quit. Little would the XO know that this little female, 120 pounds then, because we get older, we get fatter, right? 120 pounds would save his life. Literally right after my hypothermia incident. I did what I had to do and I moved forward. I left there and have earned Sailor of the Quarter and Sailor of the Year back to back. In other words, that I've worked hard for until retiring in 2010 after 24 years of service. Here's what's interesting to me. No one ever assumes I'm a veteran, like my counterparts, like my male counterparts. I can assure you if I didn't have a uniform, I was in a crowd full of people with my male counterparts, and you were asked who other veterans were, the women would not be selected. We don't tend to have tattoos of our units or other spirit corps, wear hats or t-shirts that say we're veterans. So people assume, just naturally, that the men are the only veterans in the room. Even when I go to a military ball or events, people assume I'm related to someone who's in the military rather than I am the veteran. Recently, one female sailor who worked with me came out on Channel 10 News story with another female veteran and some other male veterans. And the host of the story asked them the same question. The story started with the question, if anyone has ever thanked her for her service. How could they? They don't even think that women can be veterans. Petty Officer Salvador, stated that if they were outside and someone asked a person who were the veterans in that room, her and the other female veteran would not be selected. And people would be shocked to know that all 6 personnel were veterans. Petty Officer Salvador even stated that she attends funerals for veterans, and when people see her salute, they whisper, "Oh, she was in the military?" Mind you, she works for the Veteran National Cemetery and wears a badge that says she's a veteran. In 2011, I became a VA employee here in French Camp, VA. So Stockton VA, but it's in French Camp. I knew I wanted to continue serving our military. I'm also a patient. I know many female veterans feel uncomfortable and intimidated when they come either to the VA clinic or anywhere else. We need to change that culture. How? You, my brothers, can make them feel better and welcomed. They can relate to maybe some, if not all, of what you have gone through. After all, they're veterans too. Although I've had many trials and tribulations while I was in the military, everyone that knows me knows that I love the military. and loved serving in the military. And if I was called right now, at this very minute, I would excuse myself, go home, say goodbye to my loved ones, pack whatever I could, and go. It's just that simple and that quick. I still miss it, and it was the best decision I ever made. By the way, my dad was very proud of me, and thinks so too, as well as my family. I took an oath to be a corpsman, earning my title of Doc, and I am, and always will be, a Navy and Marine Corps Doc until the day I meet my maker. So gentlemen, as you just heard, most of the same things that you have gone through, we as women have gone through them as well. Like going through boot camp, getting your assignment that you never asked for. And reminders, some of these are single female moms and have left their families, etc., etc. So the next time you see a female walking into the VA or military museum or even a cemetery, and if you're not sure she's a veteran, just ask her, and then thank her for serving our country. I thank you all for letting me take the time to share my story. God bless you, and thank you for your service. Happy Veterans Day. Hoorah!